Hey everyone, this is Brett Endy's the Dog Savant, dogtrainingla.com. So I have another Q&A today, and this one comes from Matthew G, and he is from Los Angeles. And his question is my dog goes to the dog park and he's a Pitbull mix, and I tend to observe that when he's playing in a way that is the same how other dogs play, people get nervous and start telling me that I should be leaving because he's acting, quote, aggressive. Yeah, that happens a lot, and I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. We live in a world where appearances, really dictate how people interpret things. And, a lot of times, and this is why certain breeds get a bad rap, because the way a certain breed looks or the interpretations that they've heard of the breed starts dictating what they're seeing and feeling about it. So, I had a particular case recently where it was a dog. He was a Pitbull mix, and, he was just learning how to play. He was actually being very insecure, and the last thing, if you observed his behavior and knew what you were looking at, he was going to do was to bite. He was actually just keeping this wide berth. He was kind of coming in, barking, and then coming out. He just wanted to play and engage, and what I've learned is with time, if you keep pushing the issue, as long as the other dogs are balanced and well socialized, they'll start acclimating and following suit and integrating and then acting like, a regular dog. But again, there are aggressive dogs, but when a dog is acting insecure and at the dog park with the intention of teaching them how to be more social, it's very discouraging for an owner like you, Matt, who has to get this judgment when you're seeing with your own eyes that someone else's dog who's doing maybe even worse behaviors, something that actually could be aggressive, they get a pass because they're a little poodle, or there's something that doesn't look as threatening, as a pit bull or a Rottweiler. I mean, I get this with my Rottweiler, and he's a sweet dog, but unfortunately, if there's a conflict and the other dog even created it, my dog's going to get blamed because of the human illusory state that gets created when emotions kick in. So, what I would say, and this is the unfortunate thing, is I would, in a past life said, well, why don't you try to educate them? Why don't you try to open their mind? I've given up on that myself. I find that these days we live in a world where, there's an epidemic of narcissism, and really what it is a state that people get in where their feelings about it or their opinions are more valid and, are more real to them than actual reality itself and the truth or what's really going on from, maybe an expert's point of view. And that's why we have this, on the internet, where there's people who have years and years of experience in a certain field, and then a 20-year-old kid can come in and give their opinion, and that can get validated because they feel a certain way against the expert, whatever it might be. It can be anything from dog behavior to human medicine to nutritional advice. I don't care what it is, the best way to parent your kids. And this is really a problem, and that's what I'm trying to pinpoint here. This has very little to do with the dogs. This has very little to do with dog behavior. This is really human issues that are infiltrating the dog world, and people are using, their dogs or their feelings about other people's dogs as almost like their soapbox, where they can now speak about things that they feel strongly about, even though these feelings are based on very deep-rooted imbalances in their human psyche. So I bet you didn't expect that as your response when it comes to, asking why people are judging against your dog. But I know why, because I've seen this enough with my own eyes, too many, hundreds of times by working with people and their dogs, and I deal with a lot of pit bulls, a lot of large breed dogs that can get this opinion placed on them that isn't really who they are. I know these individual dogs. I spend a lot of time with them. I observe them in other settings, including around other dogs, and I know they're fine. But it really irks me when what is going on is completely seen askew by someone, and it's usually a certain type of people who, again, has a very strong narcissistic approach. They just want to be correcting things all the time and tell you how they know better and all that. And again, I tell people I know better when it comes to dogs, but that's it. I leave it at that. And only my experience allows me to dictate that. Again, some people, they get themselves in over their head, and then they think they're the expert, and then they talk completely out of line. And that's a problem. And again, it goes way beyond the realm of dogs and training and their behavior. So Matt, I hope I answered your question, but I wanted to take this opportunity to explain this issue that really I think is getting worse and worse by the day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Love your dog. Have a great day, guys. Bye.